So there's this woman, right? And she's not just anybody. Her name's Lisa Nowak, and at one point, she's one of the most elite human beings on the planet. Like, if you had to make a list of jobs that only the absolute best of the best ever get to do, astronaut is right at the top. And Lisa, she made it. She grew up smart, competitive, crushing math and science, gets into the Naval Academy when women still had to fight to be taken seriously there, and then goes on to fly jets for the Navy. Not just flying them, testing them, which is basically the most dangerous, most badass flying gig there is. Then she does the thing almost no one gets to do. She becomes a NASA astronaut. In 2006, she even flies into space on the Space Shuttle Discovery. Like, she literally looks down at Earth from orbit. She's living the dream. And then, less than a year later, she's in handcuffs in an Orlando airport parking lot for one of the weirdest, most shocking crimes you've ever heard of. So how the hell do you go from floating in space to getting arrested in a parking lot? First, you gotta understand, on paper, Lisa is perfect. She's got the degrees, the medals, the flight hours. She's married, 3 kids, living near Johnson Space Center. From the outside, it looks like she's got it all. But behind the scenes, it's messy. Her marriage to Richard Nowak is falling apart. They've been together almost 2 decades, but the stress of 2 careers, kids, and the insane demands of the astronaut program, it's cracking them. And right around 2004, Lisa meets another astronaut, William Billy O. He's a Navy pilot too. They start an affair. He's married at the time, but his wife finds out, divorces him, and Lisa basically becomes a regular at his apartment. Now, Lisa and Billy O, their relationship is complicated. If you ask him, he'll say it was somewhat exclusive. If you ask her, she says it was more than work but less than romantic, which sounds like denial or maybe her trying to downplay it. Either way, it lasts about 2 years. Then Billy meets someone else, a younger woman named Colleen Shipman, an Air Force captain. They meet in late 2006 and sparks fly instantly. By December, while Billy is literally piloting the space shuttle, he's sending Colleen flirty emails from orbit. By January 2007, Billy officially breaks things off with Lisa. And he thinks she takes it okay. He tells investigators later that she seemed disappointed but accepting. But he was wrong. She was not accepting. Not at all. Because Lisa finds out about Colleen. She actually hacks into Billy's apartment with a spare key, logs onto his computer, and reads the emails between him and Colleen. That's when it all snaps. Or maybe not a snap. Maybe it's the culmination of years of stress, obsession, and perfectionism turned inward. But what's clear is that Lisa doesn't just get mad, she makes a plan. So here's where it turns into a true crime movie. On February 3rd, 2007, Lisa leaves Houston in her car and drives, get this, over 900 miles, basically straight through, to Orlando, Florida. Her mission? Intercept Colleen when she lands at the airport. She's locked on this idea like it's a shuttle launch. She's got disguises, wigs, trench coat, glasses, and in her bag, police later find all kinds of terrifying stuff. A mallet, a knife, a BB gun that looks real, duct tape, garbage bags, rubber tubing, gloves, even a map to Colleen's house. Like, this is not, I just want to talk. This is much more sinister. And that's why people say, oh, Lisa just snapped. It doesn't quite add up. This wasn't impulsive. This was planned, meticulously, like an astronaut preparing for a mission. Except the mission wasn't space. It was stalking and confronting her ex's new girlfriend. So Lisa gets to Orlando in the middle of the night. Colleen's flight comes in after midnight, around 1 a.m., but her luggage gets delayed, so she's stuck at the airport for hours. Lisa, in disguise, is just waiting, pacing around like a shadow. Finally, Colleen grabs her bags, gets on a shuttle to the remote parking lot, and Lisa gets on the same shuttle, just the two of them. Colleen notices this woman in a wig and trench coat and thinks, okay, that's weird. So she speeds up, gets to her car, and locks the doors. And then, tap, 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 Lisa's at the window. Lisa starts crying, saying her boyfriend didn't show up, her phone's dead, can she get a ride or borrow the phone? And Colleen, being cautious, keeps the doors locked but cracks the window just a bit to hear better, and that's when Lisa pulls out pepper spray and blasts it right through the crack, right into Colleen's face. Colleen slams the car in gear and peels out, blinded, panicking, racing to the toll booth. The attendant sees she's in distress, calls 911. Meanwhile, Lisa is caught nearby trying to ditch her bag in a trash can. Police grab her, and just like that, one of NASA's top astronauts is under arrest in an airport parking lot. Now, the stuff in her car is what makes this more than just an assault. The mallet, the knife, the duct tape, the garbage bags. It's chilling. Prosecutors look at that and go, this was a potential abduction, maybe even a murder plot. That's why they charge her with attempted murder. But then it all gets stranger because the media latches onto one specific detail: the diapers. Supposedly, Lisa wore adult diapers during the 900-mile drive so she wouldn't have to stop. Astronauts actually use them in space, so it sounded just believable enough to make headlines. And once that hit the news, forget it. She wasn't just Lisa Nowak, astronaut accused of attempted murder. She was the diaper astronaut. Late-night jokes, SNL skits, memes before memes are even a thing. That one detail turned the whole case into a punchline, overshadowing the actual seriousness of it. Her lawyer later insisted it was a fabrication, that they were just old toddler diapers from a hurricane kit, but the damage was done. That image stuck forever. Legally, the case dragged on. At first, she faced charges that could have meant life in prison. Her defense even filed an insanity claim, saying she suffered from depression, OCD, even a brief psychotic disorder. But the big turning point came when a judge threw out most of her police interview, saying she hadn't been read her rights properly and was sleep deprived. That gutted the prosecution's case. Eventually, in 2009, she cut a deal, pleaded guilty to burglary and misdemeanor battery, got probation, community service, and anger management. No jail time beyond the 2 days she'd already served. From potential life to probation. But the fallout was massive. NASA fired her. The Navy forced her out with an other-than-honorable discharge, even dropping her rank. Her once brilliant career evaporated. Colleen, the woman she attacked, left the Air Force, but eventually built a new life. She even became a novelist. And Lisa, she disappeared from the public life. No interviews, no books, no documentaries, just silence. Last reports say she lives quietly in Texas, far away from the spotlight, at finally peace. And that's what makes this story so haunting. Because Lisa Nowak wasn't a nobody. She wasn't unstable her whole life. She was extraordinary. Literally an astronaut who went to space. But when her personal life spiraled, she applied that same astronaut mindset, discipline, focus, meticulous planning, to something dark and destructive. And in doing so, she went from hero to headline in the blink of an eye. One of the greatest cautionary tales of how obsession and stress can take even the most accomplished person and send them plummeting back to Earth.